why am I having the camera so down low, and then it's trying to get the angle, and I'm trying to show you stuff, so I pushed the cameras up a little bit so you could see more of a down angle, so you can see what we're cooking. I thought it might be easier, so I'm just going to share this live video to our recipe page so that we can all be together, all in one place, because it's so fun cooking together. I just love cooking with you guys. And I've probably mentioned this every single time, but I look forward to this every week. Coming in my kitchen, cooking with you guys, it's always one of my favorite things. Like Julie Andrews saying, these are a few of my favorite things. All right, let's see if I can share this. And then we'll get cooking. So this is like the holiday edition because Thanksgiving is like right around the corner. It's like coming up so soon. Sometimes it takes us a little bit off guard how fast it comes. Let's see, share to a group. We're getting the recipe page on. I'm trying this a new way because I'm going to see if this works better than if I do just a watch party on the other page, if I just share this live video to the recipe page. So let's see if I can see all the comments because I love cooking with guys. Lois, so glad you could join today. Lois made the chickpea overload cherry muggy blondie thing this morning, and oh, it looks so good. She baked hers. It looked so good. So good. So it's so fun. Oh, it does work better. Okay. So let me just get these up. I know this is taking a little bit. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that we are all together here. Okay. Yay, I can see the comments. Hi, Megan in Toronto. It's so fun having you girls here. Okay, there we go. We got the lives up. We are ready to start. So we're going to start off with the soup because then that'll be kind of simmering while we make our delicious pumpkin pancakes from the holiday cookbook. And I think it's in volume 1 or volume 2. It's in one of the oldest volumes of my cookbooks, and it's in Cooking with Joy. So, I mean, the pumpkin pancakes are everywhere. So we're going to make those. Annette, I'm eating the chickpea blonde with blueberries. The chickpea blondies with blueberries right now. Oh, Annette, that is so yummy. Patricia, hi from Clitheroe, New York. Oh, Central New York. Gotta read slower. Central New York. Ordered your holiday volume last night. Looking forward to trying the traditional eggnog recipe. Yes. So there's 2 eggnog recipes in the book. And my favorite is the traditional eggnog. There's a traditional eggnog and then there's a tempered eggnog. But to me, the traditional tastes better. It's a little bit of more of a smoother texture. Here, I want to show you it. But they're both good. I made both of them, and then I made the guys in my house. I'm like, okay, guys, you have to try these out for me because I didn't know if it was just my taste. So the tempered one, so they both have eggs in it. But the traditional, you don't cook the eggs. They're just raw eggs, where the tempered one, you tempered the eggs so it's a little bit cooked. So it does kind of get a little bit of a chunkier texture, where the traditional, you don't cook the egg, you just eat it raw. But it's okay. I mean, still alive. So it worked. There's recipes out there like tiramisu, however you say that. That is a raw egg also. So there's lots of things that are raw eggs. And I mean, your chance of getting salmonella, you know how much we've probably eaten the junk food cookie dough and all of us are still alive, but it's up to you. I get my eggs from a farm, so I know they're a little bit safer than if you just get them from the grocery store. But to each their own. You can make the tempered. Hi, Janice from Ottawa here. Hi, Amy. So glad to have you girls here. All right, so we're going to get with our Thanksgiving Day soup. I've never made this soup before, so we're kind of making this together. But soups are so fun. They're so easy. You can put anything and everything in them. I probably have a soup that's probably similar to this in one of my cookbooks. It could be like the, there's a, is it called a Thanksgiving Day leftover soup? Or there is a couple soups that are going to be kind of close to this, but we're going to kind of stray from those recipes. Your picture is flipped. Can you fix that? I can't fix it because I have it on the selfie camera, so then I can see your comments. So I know the wording's all backwards. I don't know how to fix that. I'm sorry. You'll just have to learn how to read backwards. I'm really sorry, guys. But it makes cooking an adventure, right? Okay, so we're going to start with our soup. So I'm going to take, this is just a big bowl. So we're going to start with this. And we are going to dice some onions and celery, because celery and onions, when you saute them a little bit, they give a soup a really good flavor. So we're going to zero our scale. This is going to be a lunch soup. Now, you could make this a dinner soup by skipping, I'm going to put apples in it. Apples in a soup is so good. But you could make this a dinner recipe by skipping the apples and then adding some more vegetables, and then it's for dinner. But today, I'm going to make a lunch soup. So I have my scale here. So I just have some celery. I'm going to dice this up. I'm going to do about 2 ounces total of onion and celery, and that is going to cook down to smaller. So I'm going to do 3 ounces, and then it'll probably cook down to 2 ounces, but I will weigh it again. Sweetie, hello from Toronto, Canada. So excited to be here. So excited you're here, sweetie. All right, so we're going to do 3 ounces celery and onion, and I'm going to dice these pretty small. And we're going to throw this into our bowl just to weigh it all. Since my pot is not hot right now, I could just throw it in my pot, but I'm going to heat up my pot here a little bit. I'm going to put just a tiny drizzle of olive oil just so we don't burn our vegetables to the bottom. Then I'm going to turn it on to about high because I want this pretty hot for when I put my vegetables in there in a second. Then I'll probably turn it down once I put the vegetables in there because we don't want to burn our stuff. And I'm not going to cry when I cut this onion. One trick I found is if you turn the exhaust fan on, then it takes all the fumes with it. And then I know you guys were so sweet the last time when I was making this and I was sobbing in the kitchen with you, you know, ugly crying. It was so fun. You guys are telling me, oh, you got to put it in the fridge for a half an hour, and you're telling me all these really fun tricks. So I'm definitely going to have to try those. I do like leaving my onion in the fridge overnight and then cutting it. But I didn't plan ahead with that today. So I just have straight up onion here. So we want all the papery peelings off. I'm just going to distribute the olive oil a little bit. Don't want that. So I'm just going to dice a little bit of onion. It doesn't, you can make these bigger chunks, smaller chunks, because it's all to your taste. I like a little bit bigger chunks of onion because I really like onion. Lois, hello from Montreal. Thank you for sharing your recipes. You're so sweet. Oh, thank you. You're so sweet for saying that. And thank you for watching all the way from Montreal. So fun. It's a chilly day in Minnesota today. Exactly 3 ounces. Let's just, oh, that satisfaction. So awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to add this to my pot that's heating up. And we're going to let this cook. Saute a little bit. I didn't grab a spoon, so I'm going to grab one of those. Let's see, another spoon. And I have a silicone spoon this time. So no scraping my pans. We're going to be nice and use the silicone spoon. Alright, so I'm just breaking up my onion a little bit because it didn't separate. So we're going to let that saute a little bit, and while we're doing that, we're going to add the rest of our vegetables. Valerie from Snowy, Utah, love the live cooking. Yay, I'm so glad you could join. I'm a little snow jealous right now because everywhere else in Minnesota down south from me got snow except for me, and I like the snow. It's so pretty. It makes everything beautiful. So I know Annette, they got snow where they are in Minnesota, so I'm a little snow envious. You can send it this way. My brother has a snow removal business, so maybe that's why I like snow so much. But I'm a Minnesota girl at heart. I gotta have me some snow. Alright, so that is, I'm going to turn this down because it is smoking pretty high. I'm going to turn it down to about 4, which is about a little bit lower than medium. Oh, it is medium because it goes up to 8. So I'm just going to stir this up. Oh, it's already smelling so good. I have some garlic here. We're going to do about 2 cloves of garlic. because when you're cooking a soup, you gotta have garlic. Hi from the Netherlands. Oh, so fun having you here. Hello from Western New York. Looking forward to receiving your cookbooks. Oh, I'm so excited for them to run. Then you can dig in and start cooking. And welcome all the way from the Netherlands. So fun having you all the way in Little Minnesota here in USA. That is so fun. I thought we had stranger danger again, but it's just my brother. He just got home. Because I heard somebody outside, and I'm like, I'm not expecting anyone here today. Unless it's FedEx or UPS. Then I'm always excited. Then I'm like, ooh, what did somebody order today online? If you didn't see my post earlier, I did buy, don't tell my family. They're probably going to watch this later. Or my mom or sister are probably going to watch this later. But don't tell them I just bought a new waffle maker. If you saw that on there, I bought, it's a heart-shaped waffle maker. I like heart-shaped waffle makers. They're so cute and so fun. So I bought one of those. It was like, what, 20-some bucks, 30 bucks. And then Kathy, my air fryer friend, said that it's an early Christmas present. So I'm going to go with that. It's an early Christmas present to myself. Our vegetables are sauteing beautifully. So I'm just going to dice this garlic. I did about 3 cloves because they're a little bit smaller than the big hunk of cloves you get. So we're going to do 3. You could skip garlic if you don't like garlic, but who doesn't like garlic, right? That stuff is good, especially in a soup. It just gives it such good flavor. So we're going to stir this up just a little bit. And when you add like celery to the saute mixture, it makes it have that like stuffing flavor, which is one of my favorite things. So then I just have some frozen vegetables here. I have some peas and carrots, some rice cauliflower, and some green beans. I was hoping I would have had some cubed, just some squash in my freezer, but I didn't. So that would be good in this also. But just whatever you have on hand. That's the fun thing about soup. It's a good way to get rid of leftovers. Just kind of throw it all in. You could use cooked or raw, whichever one. You can also microplane garlic. I have no clue what that is. But microplane, that sounds really interesting. All right, Annette, what is microplaning? Curious minds want to know. So I'm going to do about 2 ounces of that, 2 ounces some green beans, and then probably about 1 ounce cauliflower. And then we'll add our onions and stuff back to this so we get a correct measurement. Even though this will shrink a little bit due to cooking it. Ooh, it's starting to look nice and toasty brown. If I can get this package open. You know when they have the child lock things on like the bottles and stuff and you can't get them open? I'm like, I'm an adult and I still can't get these open. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 6 ounces total of these frozen veggies because they are going to cook down a little bit when they're in the soup cooking, and then that'll kind of round it out. Nicole, hey Natalie, for some reason this wasn't coming up. Glad it did. Hello, such a cute hat. Oh, thank you, Nicole. Yeah, I'm glad you found it. I did it a little bit different this time because I was having issues with my computer. I was trying to get the recipe or the watch party started and it did not want to start for me, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try just sharing this video on there so you probably didn't get like a notification that I was doing a live watch party, if that makes sense. Anyways, but I'm glad you found it. Alright, so I think our vegetables are nice and sauteed. This is what they look like. Can you see that? So Instagram, they're a little bit browned. And this random thing here, so if I take this away, the screen goes really dark. I don't know why it doesn't like this lighting. Oops. So I'm going to turn that off. Alright, so now I'm going to add this to my vegetables to see how much we got. So we have 8 ounces there. So I'm just going to take a little bit of the green beans away because I want just a total of 7 ounces. I like to do 1 ounce extra for like shrinking. Oh, Annette said micro, whatever that last thing was, is a kitchen gadget. You can also use it to zest also. Ooh, that is fancy, Annette. I'm going to have to look into that now. I always like kitchen gadgets. They're so fun. So we want just 7 ounces. So we got 7.5, 7.3, 7, perfectly. Okay, so then I'm going to add my vegetable broth to this. So 8 ounces is a free condiment of vegetable broth. So we're going to add that to our soup. Oh, the little plastic thing. There we go. This is just organic vegetable broth. I think it's just the Walmart brand. Yep, Walmart brand. Ha! Perfect. 8 ounces before it was gone. Okay, we just have to, oh, that perfection, that satisfaction. There's nothing like it. It's so fun. Okay, so we have our broth, we have our vegetables, so I'm going to put this back in my pot. And we're going to just let this cook a little bit. So now we're going to add some seasonings, because you can never make soup and not add seasonings. That would just be boring and bland. So we're going to do some rub sage. I went in my spice thing today, and this is all the rub sage I have left. So I was going to do like half a teaspoon, but I think this is more like 1/4 a teaspoon, but that's okay, because we want this to taste like Thanksgiving, and sage is like Thanksgiving in a bottle. But we're just going to add all that I have right there, which is about a 1/4 teaspoon. I was going to do about half a teaspoon. Then always add a little salt. Salt just brings out flavor in things. My favorite is the pink Himalayan sea salt. Then I'm going to add a pinch of rosemary. I really like rosemary. Is this one of your cookbooks, the Thanksgiving soup, and is the pumpkin pancakes? So the Thanksgiving soup is not in a recipe yet. We are just making it up today, right now. I kind of thought this through, what we were going to do with the soup, but we're making it up. But the pumpkin pancakes, those are in a cookbook. I want to say it's in volume 1 or volume 2, but I know it's in Cooking with Joy for sure. Then I just have some thyme. We're going to add some thyme. I'm just going to do about a pinch. It just adds just that little bit where it's going to kind of taste like stuffing, and it's going to just taste like Thanksgiving and memories and warmth and family and just fun. Sorry, did you say 1 ounce broth? I'm doing 8 ounces broth because that is a free condiment you can add to a soup. Then I just grabbed my tarragon, and it smelled really good, so I'm just going to add a pinch. It almost smells a little sweet, and I think that would taste really good in a Thanksgiving soup. Then, just because I had this in another recipe, I'm going to add just a little bit of ground turmeric, however you say it. I'm going to add just a pinch of this. It gives it, I don't know, a really warm flavor. I should probably have my broiler on. I'm going to turn it to about medium-high because I want to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to add just a pinch of this. It just adds, I don't know, some depth and some just really yumminess, the turmeric does. So then I'm going to stir this up, mix all my flavors in there. Then I'm going to do a pinch. We're going to really season this up today. Just a pinch of onion powder. We're going to do 2 pinches. I really like onion powder. Then I'm going to do a pinch of basil also. Basil and parsley, I think, are one of my favorite seasonings. You can just add it to anything, and it just, oh, it's so good. It's my favorite. And it's not like too strong where it's like, whoa, that is some seasonings. So I'm going to mix this up again. And now we're going to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to turn it up to about almost high, just a little bit less than high. Lois, Pumpkin Pancakes, Volume 1, page 41. Lois, you are so sweet. How much tarragon, please? I did just about a pinch. I didn't use too much because it can overtake flavors. It's a pretty strong spice. So I did about like that much. So not much. Just going to throw that in again. Okay. So then this is where it gets a little fun. I have just some canned coconut milk. Now, canned coconut milks, there's light canned coconut milk, then there's like full just canned coconut milk, then there's like coconut cream. They each count as different things. So I had bought this, I bought them in like bulk on Amazon because I'm like, hey, why not just get a bunch of cans on Amazon, call it a day, then I don't have to go to the store. So the ones that I usually get at the store, they are about double the calories of this one, but this one does not say light. So I'm just going to consider this a light one because this is about 80 calories, where usually my canned coconut milk is double that, is like 160 calories per serving on there. So I'm going to count this as light canned coconut milk. And for light canned coconut milk, you get 4 ounces for a full fat serving. So we're going to do 4 ounces of this into our soup, but we're going to let this get to a boil first. While that's getting there, we're going to dice our apple. I'm going to do about 6 ounces apple. Not about. I'm going to do 6 ounces apple. Okay, so we're going to turn the scale back on and turn it off. These are just some apples I got from a friend, and they're huge. Look at this thing. It's ginormous. Now that's an apple. I pre-washed it. I have no clue what kind of apple these are. They're a little bit soft and they're kind of sweet. So I'm guessing they're more like a gala apple, something like that. But they smell really good. She lives on a farm, so they're farm fresh, just straight from the tree apples. This is sounding amazing already. Oh, thanks, Nicole. It's so fun to see all your cool recipes you put on, Nicole, because you are just adventurous, girl. She was making pancakes and waffles for breakfast, and then she split it with her husband. Oh, variety. Love it. So fun. All right, so 0 the scale. So we're going to do 6 ounces apple. Or, I mean, if you don't want to be technical, you could do 1 apple, depending, but this one's a pretty beefy apple. Such a better angle for the camera. Oh, thank you. I don't know why I didn't think of this earlier. I don't know why I was having them so low. But I thought, let's raise it up so you can see what we're doing. Because that's the whole point of cooking, right? Is seeing what's going on. All right, so it's starting to smoke and it's starting to get to a boil. All right, so we're at 3 ounces apple right now, and that was about half of the apple diced. So we're just going to dice the rest of our apple, put it in the bowl, and then we'll add that to this, and then we'll add the coconut milk also. So it can kind of just simmer together. 6 ounces. All right, so we're going to throw this in, and then we're going to do our 4 ounces coconut milk. Let's just pour it in. And I noticed this coconut milk is a little bit runnier than the other coconut milk that I had bought at the store, just at Walmart. Because that one can like separate and get kind of chunky, where this one doesn't. This one just kind of stays consistently coconut milky. Cannot wait to see your heart-shaped waffles. Me too. Oh, it's so fun. I mean, it just adds the little bit. It just adds that little touch. All right, so I'm going to add our coconut milk. One thing that's nice about coconut milk compared to like regular cow's milk or dairy milk or cream is I don't think it doesn't curdle. So adding it to our soup at this point, it's not going to like curdle and get chunky and nasty. It's just going to give our soup a nice, creamy texture. And you get a lot more than you would with cream with the canned coconut milk, especially since it's like a light canned coconut milk, which is kind of fun. Okay, then, so this has no protein in it right now, so I just have some chicken that I had baked and I put in the freezer. So I'm going to add about 2 ounces of this to the soup, because then it'll thaw. So this is another thing that you can use with like leftovers. You have leftover chicken, stick it in the freezer, make a soup with it. It's so fun. You can do this with turkey, ham. Ooh, ham and soup, that stuff is good. And that tastes like Thanksgiving too. But this would go fabulous with like leftover turkey. or leftover vegetables from Thanksgiving. That's the beauty of soups, is you can kind of just throw it all in, spice it up, and call it a day. Just want another little hunk. This is really frozen. I just want a little hunk. There we go. 2 ounces, so we're just going to throw this in and stir it up and just kind of let it get to a boil, and then we'll turn it down and simmer it for like 10-15 minutes, and then we'll see how our vegetables are sitting then, if they're nice and tender, because that's kind of the point you want your soup, is to get it nice and tender. All right, so we'll set this to the side. Amy, are you going to make your pumpkin pancakes today or not? I sure am. And that's what we're going to make right now while our soup is coming to a boil, doing its thing. Now we'll make our pancakes. This is the fun part. This is why it's so fun making 2 things with you guys. Oh, another thing I was going to add before we start on our pancakes is to make our soup a little bit creamier and like a little bit thicker, I'm going to add a secret ingredient, blended chickpeas. Now, I blended these up because Marcy was a genius, and she said, because I was just blending little batches at a time, then you got to clean the blender, then you got to put it all away, blah, blah, blah. She blends a whole can, and then she just leaves it in her fridge, and then she has blended chickpeas. Genius. So I've been doing that. It is the best. So I just have some blended chickpeas. So right now we have all our vegetables, all our fruit, all of our fat, and half of our protein. So I'm going to do 3 ounces blended canned chickpeas. So we're going to do 3 ounces of this. I have another container. I don't know why I had 2 containers in the fridge, but I did. So this is another fun thing to just use up, just random things in the fridge, to use it up, to clean up the fridge, use up the leftovers. Yes, she's making pancakes. Absolutely. All right. Oh, I can hear it starting to boil. And one thing the blended chickpeas does is it makes it your soup a little bit thicker, and it gives it a really good texture, and it gives you some protein, but it doesn't like overtake the flavor of the soup. That's the nice thing about chickpeas. All right, so it's nice and boiling. We'll add our chickpeas, stir that in, and then we're going to reduce the heat to about like a 3. So a medium, low, a little bit lower than medium, because we don't want it to burn. Ooh, oh my goodness, this smells so good. Too bad they don't make smell-o-vision or like smelling live where it can send you the smells of things. Or maybe that would be very dangerous. Sometimes if I'm like cooking something for like breakfast the next day and it smells so good, then I'm like, that's a really nice candle. That's a nice candle. I'm not going to eat that, but it's a nice candle. Nicole, chickpeas are miracle ingredients, so versatile. Amen, Nicole. Amen. Yes, they are. All right, so now let's start on our pancakes. So as always, I have a recipe, but we'll probably add some tweaks and stuff here and there because it's so fun. So if you have your holiday volume, it's page 11. We're going to make the pumpkin pancakes. I know Annette and her beautiful daughter, Chloe, made them. It was so fun. And then I'm like, hey, I want pumpkin pancakes. And I had some pumpkin in the fridge, just some leftover canned pumpkin. So I had to get in on this stuff. All right, I'm going to put these vegetables to the side so we have more room. All right, so what we want to do is we want to start with mashing our banana. So we're going to do 2 ounces banana because we're saving the leftover 2 ounces for the topping, which is kind of fun to have fruit on top. It just adds some more texture to things. It adds a little bit different flavor than if you just kind of mix and mash it in all at once. So I'm going to zero my scale. I have a bowl. So we're going to do 2 ounces banana. And this banana is like perfectly ripe. It's even got the little brown spots because the browner your banana, the sweeter it'll be. So we're just going to mash this up. I like to mash my banana first before I add anything else because otherwise it can kind of like slip and slide, and then it's hard to get it nice and mashed with all the other stuff because the other stuff gets in the way. And you can miss like really big chunks then if you want it nice and finely mashed. Natalie, I'm wondering who is speaking at the Bible study tonight at 6:30. I'm not exactly sure. It'll be a surprise. Okay, so now we're going to add our egg. So I have farm eggs, and they're all different sizes. As you can see, they're all different sizes. They're not like what you buy in the store. So I'm just going to pick one that looks about 2 ounces. This one looks fun, and it might be a double yolk. I always kind of hope to get double yolks. They're so fun. Okay, so let's see what we get with this odd-shaped egg. Just 1 yolk. But it's perfectly 2 ounces. Perfect. Our soup is nice and boiling. I'm going to just set a timer for 15 minutes. Maybe I'll set it for 12 because it's been going a little bit. And we don't want our stuff to get like soggy soupy. Ooh, it looks so good. Okay, so we have our egg, we have our banana, so now we're going to get our pumpkin. And we're going to do 2 ounces canned pumpkin, so not too much, but just enough to give it a creamy pumpkin flavor. Just going to stir this up just a little bit. It's been sitting in my fridge a day or two. So I'm going to zero the scale, and we're going to do 2 ounces. Perfect, 2 ounces. Then always we have to add some seasonings. So in this recipe it says a pinch of cinnamon. We're going to do more than a pinch of just cinnamon. We're going to add some things. So I'm going to add a pinch of salt. Some maple extract that's not in the recipe, but when in doubt, I don't think when I made this recipe, I hadn't discovered maple extract yet, which is the bomb, especially with pumpkin. So we're just going to add just a splash. Then we'll do some cinnamon. We'll do about half a teaspoon of cinnamon. I really like cinnamon. So half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, whatever your taste. If you really like cinnamon, use a lot of cinnamon. Then I really like nutmeg. So we're going to add a pinch of nutmeg, a pinch of cloves. Where did my nutmeg go? I had nutmeg. Oh no, that one's empty. Well, I had nutmeg here. Here it is. We're going to add just a pinch of nutmeg. So it's going to kind of be like a pumpkin pie spice. I really like nutmeg. Just a pinch of cloves. You don't want too much. Cloves can really overtake things. A pinch of allspice. Or you could use just a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. But this is just kind of like a lazy man's pumpkin pie spice. If you don't have any on hand, you can just make up your own. And then we're going to do a pinch of ginger. Alright, and I think that's all the seasonings we're going to do. Then we have to do our oats because it is breakfast pancakes. So we're going to do 1 ounce of uncooked oats. These are just regular organic rolled oats. Chloe made the overnight pumpkin oatmeal last night for her breakfast this morning. Oh my goodness, she's just a little cook. She's becoming a fast fan. She keeps taking the cookbook to see what she wants to make. That is so awesome. You tell Chloe she is like chef extraordinaire. That is amazing. And so fun. I wish I would have started that young because I had been overweight my whole life. And if I would have known, I remember when I started eating this way, I thought to myself, I never knew how like normal, thin, skinny people ate. I didn't know. I thought they ate like nothing all day, just little bits here and there. But oh, was I wrong. That is so fun that she's getting so involved. And she's making it fun. She's making it her own. And that'll really keep it sustainable for long term. That is so awesome. She is rocking this. Who needs junk food as a kid? Who needs that stuff when you can have delicious stuff at home that's healthy and it's so fun to make? I remember when you guys came to the Cooking Live event. That was so fun. And Chloe had said that her favorite thing to make was pancakes with her dad. So now she's making pumpkin pancakes. It is so fun. So I have a skillet here. We're going to heat this up. Now, my burner, I don't know if you guys are techie or if you know things. This burner, when I turn it on, it doesn't matter how high I turn it on, it's always red, it's always heating, and it doesn't stop heating. So I burnt some things with it. So I'm going to move this pot, and we're going to simmer it over here because I need a burner. And I don't know what's wrong with that one, but we don't want to burn our pancakes today. That would be devastating, especially on live. I mean, if you're going to burn pancakes, burn it in secret, right? Okay, so I'm just going to lightly oil. You could spray. I'm just going to drizzle just a tiny bit of olive oil in the bottom of this. This is a non-stick pan, so this will be really nice for making sure our pancakes don't stick to it. So we're going to heat up our pan before we add the pancake batter. I found that that helps with it sticking and getting stuck to the bottom if you heat up your pan first. So that's heating up. I'm going to grab another spatula. And I'm going to grab a plate. For when our pancakes are done. Oh, that soup smells so good. We're just going to tilt and get our olive oil nice and even. Okay, so now we'll start adding just little bits of our pancake batter. You can make this into one big pancake. You could bake this into muffins if you want. But I'm going to make just some small-ish pancakes. I do have a pancake maker. That's kind of fun. I like my little maker things. They're quite fun. So I have this on about medium heat, just a tish bit higher than medium, because we want to get it nice and crispy, but not too crispy, just a little crispy. So we're going to just pour some of our batter in, and you can spread it out a little bit. So I'm going to start with 3 pancakes. And I think this will make maybe 4 or 5 pancakes. We will see. I've had people ask me, well, how many pancakes do you get? As many as your pancake batter will make, because this pancake batter is for one whole recipe. You get to eat how many of these you make depending on if you make it 1 big pancake, 2 small pancakes, mini pancakes. You can make them little tiny, just little dollop pancakes if you want. I love making the cinnamon donuts with you at the cooking class live stream. That was so fun. I always worry about trying the chickpea pancakes. Can you not tell they're chickpeas? Not at all. You can't. They get chickpeas don't really have a very strong flavor of beans. Out of all the beans, they don't whoa, that's a bean. They kind of take on whatever you do it with. So the chickpea pancakes are really good. My mom, she even is a little leery with chickpea things that I make, but she made the chickpea pancakes, and she's like, these are good pancakes. So, and if she likes them, you're going to like them. They don't taste like beans at all. Our soup is looking so good. Now, with this soup, you can change the protein, you can change the fat if you want to have Greek yogurt on top, if you want to put an avocado on top, anything like that. Switch it up, change it up, do whatever measurements or whatever things that you like. If you want to use regular milk, you could use regular milk instead of the coconut milk. If you bake them 375 for 30 minutes, ooh, that's a good question. Yes, you could bake the pancakes and make them like cookies instead and bake them. That's another, and I would, 375 for about 25-30 minutes. Just kind of check it. But chickpeas do tend to take a little bit longer to cook than regular things. Annette, I didn't like chickpeas until Natalie's recipes. They're amazing, right? Who would have thought chickpeas? When I first started eating this way, I just thought, oh, well, you just put the raw chickpeas on a salad. That's all they're good for. And then I saw a recipe for chickpea blondies, and I'm like, you can make these things sweet? What? After that recipe, I tried that out. I was hooked. I'm like, I gotta make everything chickpea. It's amazing. Today I had a chickpea mug cake, and oh, so good. This shocks me. It does. It will be. You'll be like, is this really beans? My sister, she made the chickpea mug cake, but she, instead of cherries, she did pineapple. She really likes pineapple. So she did that instead, and she's like, I'm not gonna like this, am I? I'm not gonna like this. And I'm like, just eat it. Just try it. Just eat it. And she did. At first she's like, I don't know if I like this. Then she's like, okay, this is really good. And then she ate it. She really liked it. So try it out. If you don't like it, then don't make it again. But I'm like 99% sure you're going to like it. Lois, I had chickpeas in my cherry blondie today. No taste of chickpeas at all. They don't. They just really take on whatever you put them with. Nicole, I use mostly organic items, but for some reason, organic chickpeas don't work as well for recipes other than hummus. They do have a little bit of a texture of their own, organic does. For me, I've noticed they're a little bit drier than regular chickpeas, or just non-organic. The non-organic seem to be a little bit softer. And, almost destroyed that pancake. And I've noticed that every brand of chickpea can be so different. I had a friend that gave me some cans of chickpeas, and they were so nice. They were so fun. And each one of those, the texture was so different. Some were really soft, some were harder. Like the organic, they're harder and more crumbly. Marcy, cottage cheese pancakes are a favorite of mine. Yes, those are really good too. They get like cheesy, and if you don't have cottage cheese, you can use ricotta cheese. So I flipped our pancakes because they were cooking long enough, and I could tell the bottom was getting a little bit done and a little bit crisped. You can kind of see the edges were getting nice and brown. This one was a little bit less done, so it was a little bit harder to flip, but not too bad. That's why I kind of like making them a little bit smaller, because they're easier to flip than if you make one big old pancake. That can get disastrous really fast. Oh, my mom, hello from the dentist. She had to go to the dentist today. Which volume is that, Marcy? I'm going to let Marcy answer that. It's in one of my cookbooks. Close this because we got some sun coming in. My were organic, no problem. Yeah, it kind of depends on what you're making it with. Usually, I've done both organic and non-organic, and they've been fine for me, both of them. But yeah, for like the chickpea pizzas, it can tend to be a little bit more crumblier with the organic ones compared to if you use the non-organic. But like the chickpea cookies or the blondies or the mug cakes, that you could use either or, and they'll work just fine. And it could be the brand that you use. That's also a factor. All right, so my soup here is done. We're going to turn this off. Oh, it smells like Thanksgiving. And just look at the texture. The texture of this soup is so perfect. It's nice and thick. And then the apples will just give it a nice sweetness to it with the vegetables. It'll just be like a holiday for lunch. I'm so excited for lunch tomorrow. This is lunch tomorrow. I already ate lunch today. But this will be tomorrow. And the apples, they got nice and soft. They're just kind of starting to break up a little bit. And then the coconut cream, it just gives it a nice creamy texture. The blended chickpeas give it a little bit of a thickness. And then you have just a little bit of chicken in there, not too much. Hi, cutie. Hi, Aunt Patty. Oh, the pancakes, the cottage cheese pancakes are in volume 4, page 16, or Cooking with Joy. Or, let's see, I don't think they're in the holiday volume. All right, so our pancakes are cooking nicely. Ooh, they look perfect. All right, so these pancakes are done. Here's these ones. Don't they look beautiful? Beautiful pancakes. So we have a little bit more batter. So we're going to finish off with the rest of our batter. No sticking, just perfection. So then we're going to finish the rest of our batter. Let's just make one pancake out of it. And I kind of like to spread out my pancake just a little bit. It gives it a little bit more of an even cook. And then it's a little bit easier. It gets a little bit crisper, or not crisp, but it gets more stiff and done than if you just leave it a blob. So, but you don't want to spread it too thin, otherwise you're making crepes. Crepes are just a fancy word for a really thin, flat pancake. I found that out after I started calling things crepes. I'm like, I kind of know what a crepe is, and then I found out, oh, it just means a really thin pancake. So, pretty easy. So we're going to let this pancake cook. We have our soup is done. So with these pumpkin pancakes, then you get to top them with things. So while this pancake is cooking, let's make our topping. So in this recipe, I think you make a peanut butter fluff. Oh no, it's just peanut butter. But I don't like to use 1 whole ounce peanut butter. I like to use a 1/2 ounce peanut butter and Greek yogurt because that's like my favorite mixture of like toppings because you get the creamy Greek yogurt. I really like Greek yogurt. And then you get the delicious thick peanut butter, and it's fun to not mix them together sometimes, but just put the Greek yogurt, then drizzle your peanut butter on top. Marcy, which of the volumes is your favorite? Do you have them all? Oh, Marcy, now you're on the hot seat. That is a hard question to answer. I get asked that a lot, and now I'm like, I like them all. I have favorites in every one, but we'll let Marcy decide which is her favorite, because I think everybody has a different favorite. I think one lady, her favorite's volume 2. I've had people say their favorite's volume 1, volume 4, volume 5. Just so many. I like them all. Well, of course I like them all. It's like picking which one's your favorite child. I like them all. Okay, so we're going to make our topping. So I'm going to, we have to wait for our pancake. And I think this is ready to flip. You can tell it's ready to flip because there's like little bubbles, and it's steaming through the little bubbles. And you can kind of tell because you can get your spatula underneath. If you can't get your spatula underneath, you better wait a little longer. Okay, this might be a little bit dangerous of a flip. Oh yeah, perfect. I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because it is cooking it a little bit faster and not getting all the way through as well. Okay, so I'm going to grab some Greek yogurt. I ran out of Aldi's Greek yogurt, which is my favorite, the whole milk. So I just have plain Greek yogurt, which is still good, just not as good as my favorite. But that's okay. I will survive. I'm going to grab... So it's all about how you present your food that makes it sometimes the yummiest. So we're going to move our pancakes together. My air fryer friend Kathy would be very, very happy with me making it look beautiful. Oh my goodness, she makes such beautiful plates of food. Like hers are a piece of artwork. And I've seen some of all of yours also that you share and then you tag me in, which I love. Thank you for doing that. And oh my goodness, some of those are just art. It's just beautiful. Like it should be in a magazine, just perfect. Lois, I enjoyed for the first time the Greek yogurt and peanut butter. Yay! Yes, that is my favorite topping, especially like on the cherry overload muggy thing. That's really good in there too. So I think our pancake is getting done. I'm going to flip it just one more time. Aha! It is perfection. Turn the oven off. So we're going to move this over. We're going to put this pancake on the bottom because it's the biggest. I probably could have split it into 2, but I didn't want to do that because I wanted one pancake. So here's our beautiful plate of pumpkin pancakes. I got to snip it. Oh, it smells so good. Nicole, yes, Kathy Curley Young is the Picasso chef. She is. She's like the Bob Ross of food. It's beautiful. Marcy, I have volumes 1 through 5. That's a hard question. I have favorites in each. I do a lot of chia puddings, breakfast and lunch ones, yogurt cheesecake, chickpea blondies, and banana cream pie. Oh, yes, those are some of my favorites also. Yeah, it's really hard to pick, like, just one volume that I'm like, oh, I only need that volume and I'll live on that forever. No, because they're so much fun. Oh, thank you. Looking good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to zero the scale. I'm going to do 2 ounces Greek yogurt. I have found this cookie scoop. You guys told me what it was because I'm like, this thingamadoocher thing here, whatever it is, cookie scoop, does the perfect 2 ounces Greek yogurt almost every time. And I've noticed the whole milk, you got to use the whole milk Greek yogurt. You got to do a little bit less than the scoop, where the just plain Greek yogurt that I get at Walmart, that's not whole milk, it's not as thick and creamy, but it's still good. That one you can do a little bit bigger scoop. And it just makes it look pretty. Like, look at that. 1 ounce perfectly. So I'm going to do 2 ounces. That'll be 1/4 of my protein. Ha! Exactly 2 ounces. The the satisfaction. All right, then we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of peanut butter drizzled on top. Grab my organic peanut butter. You can tell somebody else had been drizzling it because there's drizzle all on the side, but that's okay because it's worth it. Ooh! I had this upside down. I didn't expect it to pour out like that. I like to take a butter knife or a fork or a spoon. Gonna get it nice and drizzly, nice and mixed. If you store it upside down, it stays drizzly all the way to the bottom, which is the best. All right, so we're just gonna drizzle some of this on. And who would have thought peanut butter and pumpkin go together? But they do. It is amazing. So you just kind of jiggle your knife a little bit to get the peanut butter to come down. I need some tips from air fryer friend Kathy Young. She does such beautiful things with her food. And I just try to pretend I can make food as beautiful as her. And same with Nicole. Nicole makes her food so beautiful. And there's so many of you that you need to be food artists. Like if that was a thing, you would win every time. It's just gorgeous. And then I think, oh no, they're looking at the pictures I have in my cookbook of food. And I'm like, their food, can I just steal this picture and switch it out in my cookbook? Because yours is so much more beautiful. But then you get a surprise when you make it and it's so much more beautiful. You're like, wow, this looks so good. Has anyone tried the recipe using instant coffee? Ooh. I had a thought of that, putting a pinch of instant coffee in here. I thought that would be really yummy, but I didn't because I thought, okay, we're going to stray from the recipe just a little bit, but not that much. But I did think about putting instant coffee in here. That would have been a good idea. Nicole, you're so sweet and encouraging. Aw, thanks, Nicole. Annette, question. For my chickpea blondies, they did not firm up and I added more time, but didn't want the edges to get dark. I wondered if I blended the chickpeas too much. Thoughts? So, chickpeas, they don't get, like chocolate chip cookies, they're really hard and you can bend them and all that stuff. Chickpea blondies don't do that. They stay more of a softer texture, but they will firm up. I would say they firm up less than these pancakes. These pancakes are firmed up more. But since there's no egg, you're not going to it's not like you can't eat it raw. It's still good. But you could, every oven is so different. So I would reduce the heat to 350 or maybe a little bit lower and then cook it longer if you don't want the outsides to get burnt. It might look like it's burnt. My sister just did this where she tried out my little toaster oven and she's like, oh, I burnt it. Oh no. And then I'm like, just taste it. She's like, oh no, I burnt it. She tasted it and it was just fine. So the outside will get pretty dark, but it'll still taste really good. And yeah, so you could try cooking it a little longer. And then when you let them sit, then they do firm up even more. When they come straight out of the oven, they are going to be pretty soft. But if you leave them in the fridge overnight, then they'll get even harder, firmer texture. But they still will be like a soft, soft cookie. But they're still really delicious. Isaiah, have you ever made your own peanut butter? I have. It's a lot of work, and it's not as drizzly, and it almost killed my food processor. So I'm like, just gonna buy peanut butter. To me, it's easier. But yeah, you can make your own peanut butter. It's literally just taking peanuts and grinding them and blending them until they come out into a peanut butter texture. And I think some peanut butters you can add oil, but usually you don't have to. It's just ground up peanuts. That's pretty much it. All right, so here's our beautiful pancakes, our beautiful pumpkin pancakes. Aren't they delicious? I'm so excited. This is breakfast tomorrow. So these will be really yummy still in the fridge overnight. Annette, thanks. They were still amazing. Right, they're still good. Even though they're kind of like warm and ooey gooey, they're still good. But yeah, you're not going to get like that hard, you're not going to get a crispy cookie with those. Those don't get very crispy. Maggie, Mom, Isaiah, can you get organic peanuts? We buy organic peanut butter. That's a good question. Gail, do you ever use peanut powder? I've never used that. I have seen other people use that, but I've never tried it. I don't know what's in it. I try to eat as organic as I can. I mean, there's some things where you just can't get around it. You just do the best you can. And I don't know if I've ever seen that organic, where this peanut butter that I get is organic. So this is just organic dry roasted peanuts and sea salt, which is kind of nice. Because I've seen so many peanut butters, almond butters, cashew butters, all the butters, and they add oils. You don't need to add oils. You don't need to do that. Just peanuts and grind them up. This Isaiah, I haven't looked for organic peanuts, but I'm sure they're available somewhere. They gotta come from somewhere because somebody's making organic peanut butter. You could probably find them on Amazon. Amazon has a lot of things. You can find so many things. I found puff kamut. I found canned coconut milk. Amazon is like my friend. Anyway, so those are our recipes today. I will be posting this soup recipe sometime today. I'm not exactly sure what time, but I'll be posting this Thanksgiving soup. Smells like Thanksgiving. And then this pumpkin recipe is in my holiday cookbook. It's in volume, I think, what did you say, volume 1. It's in Cooking with Joy. It's in all the cookbooks, almost. So, yeah, check out these recipes. Make some pancakes for your family. It's so fun. You could probably make this as a waffle also. You could take this recipe, make it as a waffle, and then add your own seasonings. I mean, make it your own. You could add a pinch of cinnamon to the top of this. It would look beautiful. Thought about doing that, but it's over there. But yeah, it was so fun cooking with you today. What should we make next week? Next week, now, I probably will not be doing a live cooking thing on Thanksgiving, and I'm not sure, is that next week? I have a calendar here, but everything's pushed on it. If it's next week, then there won't be a live next week. If it's not next week, then we will have a live. So, Thanksgiving, no live. But what should we make the next time we're back together? Give me some suggestions. We could make another yummy soup recipe. We could make, maybe we should make a quiche. Quiches are really fun. I just made a pizza quiche lately, and that smelled just like you go to a pizza place and you just smell all the pizza. It was cooking, and I'm like, that smells divine. So maybe we'll make some pizza quiche, or maybe a quiche for my recipes. Oh, Bree Instagram says, health food stores, Whole Foods may carry organic peanuts. So that's where you can find organic peanuts at a health food store. Annette, thanks so much. Thank you for watching. It's so fun. Oh, Tina, Boston cream. Ooh. Kathy, can we make some dishes for dinner? Mary, pizza quiche. Yes. Oh, Marcy, sorry. Marcy, pizza quiche. Yes. Yes, yes. All right, anything pizza, I'm in. I mean, I was like a pizza-holic. That was my drug of choice. So having it as a quiche and stuff is good. Quiche and pumpkin pie type thingy. Ooh, we'll keep with like the fall holiday theme. Do some warm vegetable quiche that's like pizza and some pumpkin pie. Maybe the pumpkin pie cheesecake. That's a fun one. That's a fun one. Yes, pizza quiche. Ooh, okay, so we're getting the votes in. Pizza quiche. Comment below what we should do. If you're going to be watching on YouTube later, subscribe, comment below. Let me know. Casseroles, soups, yes. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Lois. Debbie, are you going to post the recipe for the soup? Yes, I'll post it tonight sometime. It might be late, it might be tomorrow, but I will post it. It will be on. I'll get to that after today sometime. And yeah, it was so fun cooking with you. So, okay, pizza quiche and something pumpkin next week. I have more cans of pumpkin, thank goodness, because there was a little bit of a pumpkin shortage there, but they got that worked out, and now pumpkin's everywhere again. So fun. Oh, I was going to tell you something. Oh, yes, I was just going to kind of, if you weren't here on my Sundays Live, I was just going to clarify just a little bit why. Why do I call things pumpkin pie? Why do I call things pizza quiche? Why do I call things, name things like cheesecake and all that stuff? It's not so that you're like, it's not to be like, oh, you're making this so it looks just like junk food, so then you can still have junk food and live on this and it's a diet. No, that's not why I do that. I do it because, like I said, if you were going to make a recipe, or if you saw a recipe and it was like for the cheesecake, if you saw, I'm going to make a yogurt, egg, banana bake on top of beans. That's gross. Nobody's going to want to make that. Or I'm going to have oats and pumpkin mashed with some spices. But you use pumpkin pie spice, so it makes it a pumpkin pie pancakes or pumpkin pie cheesecakes. So it's not to be like, oh, we're trying to make this really fancy food. It's literally ingredients you're going to use any day, every day. This is literally like oatmeal, but with an egg and then fried in a skillet. So, and like the cheesecake, it's literally yogurt, egg, banana made on top of a bean bake. That you just bake beans, put that on top. I know it sounds really weird, but it tastes so good. But yet it's not like, oh my goodness, this I'm gonna just like eat the whole world. It doesn't wake up that craving sugar monster because there's no sugar in it, no flour in it. So those cravings don't awaken. I remember when I first made it, I thought, ooh, cheesecake, ooh, I don't know, is this gonna be like dangerous? Am I gonna be like, oh, I wanna eat all the food in the world? But after I ate it, I'm like, I'm satisfied. I don't want another one right now. I'm good. I ate that, I'm full, and I was happy. And then I went on with my life, and I'm not making it every day. It's not like something that I'm like, oh, I have to have that. But it's literally like a parfait, but with an egg and baked. So that's just kind of why I name things those, so you know what they are. And then you're not like, ew, that sounds disgusting, I'm not going to eat that. It's just so you know what this is kind of going to taste like, a little bit. Pizza quiche or gingerbread breakfast cookies, holiday spirit. Ooh, gingerbread, that's a fun one. Amy, thank you for cooking. Kathy, don't change. I love what you do and how you do it. Thank you, Kathy. You're so sweet. I love you too. And don't you change either. Except keep losing the weight. I'm going to keep doing that. That's the only thing I'm going to change. I'm going to change for the better. But yeah. So that's the only reason I name things like pumpkin pie or those kind of things. Is then you know, oh, that's what it is. But there's no sugar, no flour, so it's not going to like make you go food crazy. So that's just to clarify and just kind of clear that up. Anyways, it was so fun cooking with you guys. All right, next week, if it's not Thanksgiving, I don't remember if it is or not. I don't even know what the date is today, but I know it's November. Anyways, and Thanksgiving is coming. So next week, we're going to make a pizza quiche and something pumpkin or gingerbread, something holiday. It'll be fun. Maybe we'll have to make pumpkin patches. Those are one of my favorites. Also, so we'll have to see what we're going to make next week. It's so fun. And comment below, subscribe. I think there's a button you can push that you'll get a notification the next time I go live, and then that'll be easier to find me again. You can check out all my cookbooks. You can find this video again on my website, weightlossrecipescookbook.com. You can find all of my cookbooks. You can find my new holiday cookbook, and you can get in the holiday spirit and unlock all of the delicious pumpkin holiday recipes. I think I even have the cheesecake. And then Bree on Instagram, these cinnamon donuts, these are pretty much like gingerbread men because there's a lot of ginger in it and it tastes like heaven. Annette, it is not Thanksgiving next week. Thank you. It is not Thanksgiving, so we will be on live next week. Gloria, it's not Thanksgiving next week. It's the 28th. Thank you. So we will be here next week with some pizza quiche and something pumpkin. It'll probably be something from this because if Thanksgiving's not next week, it's coming up soon, and we're going to make some Thanksgiving Day meals that you can bring to the whole family, and they won't even know that it's sugar and flour free. They'll be like, ooh, that is so yummy. And you'll start making little chefs out of them. Also, like Annette did, her daughter got hooked on healthy recipes. And hey, that is so great to get the family involved, cooking with you. So fun. Having little helper chefs. You can teach her how to cook for you. Be like, hey, Chloe, make me some breakfast tomorrow. You know you want to try one. You're going to make one. Make me one too. That's what I do. I teach my kids to be like, kids, go make me something in the kitchen. That would be fun. All right. Well, thank you for cooking with me. Check out my cookbooks, weightlossrecipescookbook.com. There's tons of free recipes on there. You can find this live video there. Find me on YouTube. Find me on Pinterest. Find me on Twitter, Tumblr, now on MeWe, which is a new one. It's a new social media site, which is really fun. There's no fact checkers. Don't block me, Facebook, but there's no fact checkers on there. It's just an open site where you can be on there. I still have to figure out, nobody really knows what they're doing on there yet, so I feel like we're all just people stumbling around like pushing buttons. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm on there also, MeWe. You can look up my name. Not my recipe name, but my name, Natalie All. You can look me up on there. Annette, my family has requested cauliflower pizza Friday night. Everyone, yes! That is so fun. Getting the whole family involved. Oh, I love it. That is so fun. Just getting the whole family healthy. Then, after that, you can get rid of every junk food in your house. No temptations ever again because everybody's just making healthy recipes. That is the bomb. So much support. Getting the family with you. So awesome. All right. Well, thank you for cooking with me. Find me on all the social medias. It's so fun. Love cooking with you guys. I will see you next week because it's not Thanksgiving yet. And we're going to make some yummy things. All right. Love you guys. With joy, Natalie. And remember, you're only one thought away from a good day. All right.